First, giving all praises and honor to Yahweh, Bashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai. All praises due. Shalom to my Israel and Rod of Iron family. My name is Mahir Malika, and welcome to the Akwath channel, Daughters with Daggers, where we continuously seek edification from the truth of the scriptures. So we are in an age where children are being incessantly told that they can do whatever they want, right? They could be disrespectful, they can lie, they can cheat, they can curse their parents, they can mock their teachers, they can have total disregard for anything, and there be no consequences. Okay, so they can be unruly no matter what their age are. And it could be, whether they're adolescent or they're young adult. Okay. So I'm hearing and some of my Aqua sisters, not even just my Aqua sisters, seeing with my own eyes the disrespect that some children are having. And I don't believe they understand how serious the consequences are going to be once we get out of this captivity. We get back to our old ways of doing things, our old laws. They're going to have a rude awakening. And it's something that is out of our thinking and out of our minds. Once we get into this word, you'll hear it, you'll see it. And so this moment in time, I want to talk to my young adults, and I also want to talk to children, okay? Because I want you to really grasp and understand and become knowledgeable in what is expected of you once we get out of this captivity, okay? And your consequences if you continue to disobey your family, your mom, your dad, okay, and authority, okay? So young adults and children, you better listen up. This is your time to listen up. The law of the land is going to eventually go back to our old ways and original ways of doing things. And the Most High hates when children are being disobedient to their mother and father. Because if you're disobedient to them, then you're disobedient to Him. Okay? So today we are going to learn through the truth of the scriptures how the Most High commands you, children and young adults, to obey your mother and father. And also, which in line obeys Him and His commands. Okay? Disrespectful actions of children, no matter what age, is hated by the Most High. And I can't keep stressing that. It's hated by Him. The Most High warns children to honor your parents and with loving hearts and be obedient to them. Okay? Listen to them. So we're going to go to Exodus 20, chapter 20, verse 12, and we're going to start with our scriptures. Exodus chapter 20, verse 12, and it reads, "Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy power giveth thee." Honoring your mother and father is being obedient to them, listening to them, taking their advice, following their instructions, cleaning up the house, doing your homework on time, coming in if you're out when the street lights come on. That's what we have to do, right? Just complying to their rules, okay? And their wishes for you. That's honoring them. So in this Old Testament, it's not only repeated by the Most High to Israel, it's also reiterated to the man of the Lord by Paul in Ephesians and Colossians. Okay, so it's throughout. You hear it multiple times in various different scriptures, right? So the Most High is repeating this to Israel, to us, right? The Israelites. And then Paul is reiterating that to the men of the Lord. So you can find this. We're going to go into Colossians as a precept, chapter 3, verse 20. Colossians chapter 3, verse 20, and it reads, "Children, obey your parents in all things." Okay? "For this is well-pleasing unto the Lord." So, children, obedience to your parents that are in this word and the truth of it. So you have to be obedient to your family that are in this truth and are seeking this knowledge and know this knowledge of the truth and are in this word. Okay. It is pleasing to the Most High. He's happy. He is happy when he sees that you're obeying your family, your mom, your dad, your guardian, whoever has that control or that leadership over you or that authority over you. He is happy when you are being obedient, okay? That is something that he commands for you to do, obey, okay? So we're going to go to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 1 through 3, okay? Ephesians 6, 1 through 3. Ephesians 6, chapter 6, verse 1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Verse 2, honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise. Okay. And verse 3, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on earth. So the fifth commandment from the Most High is to honor thy mother and father. That is a commandment, okay, from the Most High. When you honor and are obedient to your mother and father, you also are honoring and being obedient to the Most High. His promise is that you will have a long life. Okay? So if you're following this commandment, your life will be extended. Okay? So we're going to go to 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 30. 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 30, and it reads, wherefore the Lord power of Israel saith, I said indeed that thy house and the house of thy father should walk before me forever. But now the Lord saith, be it far from me, for them that honor me I will honor, and they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed. So if children are rebellious and disrespectful towards their parents who gave them life and sustenance, they also will be rebellious and disrespectful toward the Most High, our Creator and Sustainer. So in this scripture, he's saying that if you are honoring him, he will honor you. Okay? So the Most High wants you to respect your parents. Actually, all adults that are leading and guiding you in this truth. If they're leading and guiding you in this word, he wants you to honor and respect them. Adults, I know, I get it. You know, sometimes I hear children act like we've never been born before. Of course, they want to experience life. They think it's so much out there that the world has so much to offer them when it really doesn't. And sometimes when we talk, they act like we're strange, sound like I don't know if some of you might not have watched Charlie Brown, and when we're talking to them, all they hear is wonk, 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 wonk. And it's strange to them. But you must respect your parents. You must respect your mom. You must respect your dad. It's a commandment. You have to do that. When they're telling you to clean your room, you need to clean your room. When they're saying that you need to, when you get of age and you have a job, okay, you laying in there with your mom and your dad, pay a bill. Better yet, clean up after yourself. Wash a dish. Those things when, some things that your parents shouldn't have to tell you to do. You're honoring them when you do those things without them even having to say anything. Okay. Not stomping your feet, smacking your lips. Those things are not honorable. Those are disrespectful things towards your parents. So when you disobey your mom or dad or sass them or don't pay attention to what they say, it hurts them inside. It hurts their heart. I know my heart aches for a lot of children that I see, okay? Because it causes them sorrow inside because they want nothing but the best for you. They want you to do, of course, the things that unfortunately we might have done in our past. They want you to be better than that. So when we give you this guidance and we give you this instruction, it's not to hurt you or cause you not to have no fun. It's like, oh, you trying to stop me from being great. No, I'm trying to stop you from losing your life. I'm trying to stop you from death. Okay, I'm trying to stop you from getting yourself into something that you can't come back from. That's what we do, and that's what we're trying to do. But when you don't listen to us and be obedient to us, it hurts us inside because we see where you're heading and we know what's about to come. Okay? And it's sad to do that to those that love you. So when the Most High look at that and he see like, man, if you can do your mom and dad like that, who are your earthly parents, who brought you into this world, who provides for you, who takes care of you, who's your cheerleaders, who's your supporters, your encouragers, if you can do that to them, why wouldn't I think you do that to me? Okay. So let's go to Leviticus chapter 20, verse 9. Okay, Leviticus chapter 20, verse 9. For everyone that curseth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. He hath cursed his father or his mother. His blood shall be upon him. Okay, so now let's go to Deuteronomy 21, chapter 18 through 20, Salah. Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 18 through 21. I'm going back to back with these scriptures because I want you to really hear, because I'm going to explain to you what is taking place in these scriptures. So we're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 18 through 21. And we're going to start at verse 18. And it reads, if a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and that when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them. Salah, verse 19. Let me slow down because this is some good information for you guys. Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him and bring him out unto the elders of his city and unto the gate of his place. Okay, so verse 20. And they shall say unto the elders of his city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is glutton and a drunkard. Okay, verse 21. And all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, and he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. So this talks about a rebellious son. Children and young adults, I link you guys together because, you go from child to young adult, must take responsibility for your actions. Okay, especially when you reach an age of accountability, which is approximately 20 years old. So it's easy to place the blame on someone else, right? It's easy to say, oh, my mom or my dad, or, someone made me do it, or those type of, placing blame. But it comes a time in your life that you have to accept that responsibility and be accountable for yourself. That is at the age of accountability at approximately 20 years old, okay? So stop blaming your parents for your actions and decisions that you make when you become a young adult, okay? It's time to stop that. It's time to grow up, and it's time to understand that you're accountable for yourself. Everything that you do from this point on is on you, okay? So you are aware of what is wrong. You're aware of what is right. And you will face the consequences for your inappropriate actions whatever it is. Whether it's hitting your parents, which is a huge no-no. Cursing them out, which is a huge no-no. Not being obedient to their guidance, okay? As well as the guidance and commandments from the Most High. Understand that? I hope you're getting this. So you are responsible for those actions, not your mother, not your father. You are, okay? If you're out there doing stuff that's going to cause you to get in situations, maybe breaking the law, maybe speeding, maybe robbing, maybe selling drugs, whatever it may be, maybe smoking stuff that you shouldn't be smoking, maybe doing drugs, or maybe just lying, cheating, and stealing and being conniving. Whatever it is, you can't blame that on your parents. You're at the age of accountability. You're going to be held responsible for those things. Okay? So let's go to 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 23 through 24. And he went up from thence unto Bethel. And as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city, and mocked him, and said unto him, Go up, thou bald head. Okay? Go up, thou bald head. Verse 24. And he turned back and looked on them, and cursed them in the name of the Lord. And there came forth 2 she-bears. Okay, 2 mama bears out of the wood, and tear 42 children of them. Okay, so in this passage, it talks about what happened when Elijah was taken up by the chariots. So his protege, Elisha, was given a double portion of Elijah's anointing, okay, by the Most High. So some kids, being kids, thought it was funny to make fun of him because his head was bald. They kept, laughing at his head. In the scripture here, go up thou bald head. They kept making fun of him. So they were being rude. They were being disrespectful to the man of the Lord. And the Most High takes his anointed very seriously. Okay, so we're going to go to a precept. 1 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 22. And that reads, saying, touch not mine anointed, and do my prophets no harm. So he lets you know right there, do not touch my anointed man of the Lord. And this is what these children were doing. And they were children making fun of him. Okay, so the Most High, with divine intervention, sent down 2 she-bears, 2 mama bears, to kill the children. And they killed a total of 42 children because they were touching his anointing by making fun of them, being disrespectful, being unruly, making fun of him. Yes, he killed 42 children for that. Okay. So the confusion for our children right now is that they're being subjected to the laws of the land right now. Okay, which is not working. You call, you can't, don't spank me. I'm gonna call them police on you, or you can't chastise them. You can't discipline them. You can, it's so many different things that they're saying, that you cannot do. I remember when my daughter turned 13 and it was time, for me to take her to the doctor. They even asked her, would you like your mom to come into the room with you? And I'm like, yes. And they were like, it's up to her because now she's at an age where she can make that decision. She's only 13, right? So luckily, she was like, yes, I want my mom in here. And of course, the questions they ask her, are you afraid? And it's like, what the heck is going on? So they're putting this in their mind, in their head. However, we need to erase that. Because once we get out of this captivity, we're going back to our original laws. Okay? And in our original laws, if children were not obeying their mother and their father, they were put to death. And that's why I'm sharing that in Deuteronomy about the rebellious son, and also sharing in 2 Kings about the 42 children that were killed because they were being disrespectful, unruly, and they were touching our Most High man of the Lord, his anointed. Okay, this is really serious, and it's really something that our children need to understand and hear. So here's a precept. Let's go to Zechariah 13, chapter 13, verse 2 through 3. And it reads, and it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will cut off the names of the idols out of the land, and they shall no more be remembered. And also I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirit to pass out of the land. Verse 3, and it shall come to pass that when any shall yet prophesy Then his father and his mother that begat him shall say unto him, Thou shalt not live, for thou speakest lies in the name of the Lord. And his father and his mother that begat him shall thrust him through when he prophesieth. Now, this is a future prophecy that has not come yet to pass, okay? So it has not happened yet. So it's letting you know that if you are not obeying, this is what's going to happen. You will, this one talking about thrusting, I mean, it was stabbing. So that you can be put to death, children and young adults, if you do not obey your mother and your father. Okay, so let's go to Mark chapter 7, verses 9 through 10. Mark chapter 7, verse 9, and it reads, And he said unto them, Full well ye reject the commandment of power, that ye may keep your own tradition. Now remember, when you see the red, that's Yahweh Shai talking. He's speaking. So verse 10, For Moses said, Honor thy mother and thy father, and whoso curseth father or mother, let him die the death. Okay? This is serious. And it's not a game. It's not a fairy tale. This is real. This is truth. And we're getting closer and closer to those moments. Okay? You can't continue to think that if you are being unruly or being disobedient to your parents, or being disrespectful, lying, hitting them, and not obeying them, there are going to be consequences. And that will lead to shortening your life. Okay? So your life can be cut in half. Listen to the stories we just heard about. Listen to what happened to those children in those stories. That one was stoned to death and the other 42 were killed by bears that the Most High sent down himself. He commanded the bears to go down there and kill those children. Okay? So now parents. So let's go to Proverbs 22 and 6. Okay? Proverbs 22 and 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So parents, it is important that as Israelite men and women, that we train our children and teach them through his word. Okay? They need to become knowledgeable about the truth and expectations of our Father, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. We need to pray with them and for them, bringing them up under the means of grace, the ministry of his word, and setting good examples of being holy. So when I mean about under the means of grace, that means that's something that is not earned. Okay, grace is not earned. It's not deserved. Okay, we're actually, the children are under grace right now because we're operating out of the laws that's here of the world. And being that we're doing that, they're not being stoned. They're not being, for being disobedient. They're not going through what they will go through once we get back to where we left off, where we're supposed to be, once we get back to those original laws. So right now they're living under grace. They're operating under grace. It's not deserved, but they're operating under it. When we mentioned about being holy, that means his word. Okay, that means that we're in his word, we're learning his word, and we're living by his word. Okay, so let's go to Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26. For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifices for sins. So after we as parents train and provide our children this knowledge and truth through the word of the Most High, and it is rejected. Now, children, listen to this. If you're rejecting this, then unfortunately we will have to come to terms that what your faith is going to wind up being. So if you're rejecting his word, you're rejecting him. And so if you're rejecting him, he's going to reject you. Okay? So if you're not going to listen, if you're not going to be obedient, if you're not going to follow what your parents are telling you, your mother and your father, if you're not following what this word is telling you, the Most High is telling us, our Father, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, then your fate is you're going to be rejected. Because this world that we're in right now is going to end. Okay? And we are going back to our original laws and original ways of doing things. So this moment in time is to ask you, where are you wanting to be? Okay, are we going to continue to do the things that we think because we think this is not true? We think this is a fairy tale. But this is the truth. This is really going to happen. This has happened. We're going back to that. Okay, that's his word. Okay, so parents, I want to talk to you for a quick second about some things. So being a mother. So I'm a mother. My daughter's 26 years old. And I remember back in the day, I was raised by a little tyrant. My dad was a tyrant, little short guy. And he wasn't nice. He and my mom been married forever. So when I got older, there were things that I didn't have, I wanted to do. He wouldn't let me. He was very strict. I couldn't play basketball, none of those things. So when I became a mom, of course, I wanted her to have the things that I didn't have. I poured so much into her to where I spoiled her to the point of, things kind of got it was skewed a little bit. Our roles, because she would call me mom. She knows mom, but she would also call my mom. So I had to keep telling her that's your grandma and I'm your mom. And then, of course, she'll run and tell things and it's like, wait a minute. No, you can't do that. Okay. So the roles got kind of skewed where she started seeing me as like a sister, not her mom. So I had to fix that because we had a moment where she thought she could buck up or she can talk to me crazy because she thought that I was like her sister or her friend. And it's like, no, we have to fix that. So your children have seen you do things, and sometimes when they see us do things that we tell them not to do, or do things that might not be appropriate also, or be a part of that. Are we hanging? Are we partying? Are we doing all these things that we're telling them, you might want to be mindful not to do? The respect factor kind of goes out the door with them. So if you're telling them, be careful, we might not want to, smoke that weed or a joint or do those drugs, but yet they saw you do the drugs, then it's kind of hard to tell them not to do stuff when you're doing the same thing. Okay, that's integrity. So, and you also need to have that. So you need to say what you mean and mean what you say. If you're telling them that they can't play with that video game because they need to do their homework, but just because they continue, mom, and you be like, here, just go, because you don't want to hear it, then you didn't lost the respect. So you have to stay where you're at. You have to mean what you say. You have to tell them, look, I'm not going to have this in my house. When I say go do your homework, you do your homework. Okay? And mean it. We buy all these expensive gifts and things, and I'm one of those people. I was buying stuff to overcompensate for the things that I did not have when I was growing up. I want her to have the world that I wanted, right? And that can actually cause an issue, because now they're so spoiled that nothing's earned. It's given to them, and they expect that. They don't know how to earn it. So we just need to work together, pray together to make sure that we are doing what we need to do for our children, giving them this word and this knowledge, sharing with them so they can know and be on the right path. Now, here's the thing, parents. I know it hurts. I know your heart aches as much as you try to tell them and you try to show them, and they're rejecting it. And it's going to come to a point in time when they reach that age of accountability that they have to want this for themselves. Okay? So I hope this helps. a little bit. I hope this gives you some kind of peace. I wanted to do this for the children and the young adults because I'm seeing so much of them fall by the wayside and so much of them doing things, especially to their Israelite mothers and fathers. And it's not okay. So children and Aquas, I just want you guys all to know I love you with my whole heart. Let's absorb this message. Let's meditate on it and preserve it. It is the only way that we can transition and transcend. Children, obey your mother and your father so that your days will be long. Honor them by doing the right thing, by listening, by taking care of your responsibilities. You know, young adults are becoming parents. Those babies are your responsibility. Okay? Being just respectful, you know, respecting your elders, respecting people that are there to give you the knowledge so you can be the best that you can be, that you deserve to be. Stop following the ways in this world. This world is going to be gone away. And we're going to go into our new, we're getting out of this captivity. And I want to see all of you there. Okay? I don't want you to be stoned. I don't want you to be killed. I want you to be right there with us while we're planting in the garden, as we are rejoicing with each other. We're loving up on each other. I want you to be a part of that. But you have only way to do that is to listen to your mother and your father. I am gone. Shalom. I love you again. And this ends this lesson today. Shalom, family.